As a leader in your organization, you're faced with the pressures of bringing strong financial success to your facility every day. You carry a lot of responsibility and you work hard to produce, sustain, and demonstrate significant financial improvements. Hello, I'm Ed Cody, and I want to welcome you to our special interview with Dr. Rick Kunnes, Managing Director at Margin Solutions at Microscope. Dr. Kunnes and his team are the folks you want on your side to enhance cash and margins quickly and easily. Dr. Kunnes, welcome today, and we're so excited to talk with you about the cash flow and margin problems you're seeing with rural hospitals, especially in this COVID environment.
Thanks, Ed. It's great to be here, and it's great to be talking about all the difficulties that rural and small hospitals are enduring due to COVID and really the chronic concerns about low revenue and increasing expenses and declining management and staff. Of course, the COVID situation has made everything much worse, so that all of these chronic problems are now highly exaggerated by the COVID situation.
Well, Dr. Kunnes, for over 30 years, you've been helping hospitals implement cash and margin enhancing solutions and strategies, and you've seen the huge positive cash impact this has had.
Yes, on the one hand, I was saying it's exciting to be talking about all the difficulties that hospitals are going through, particularly rural and small hospitals, in terms of what they're enduring. But the really exciting part is doing something positive about it. And that's what's key to our approach, that we do best when we work in these very difficult situations that small and mid-sized and rural hospitals are having to endure. And we view it as our job to bring a lot of cash, improve margins, and to do it very quickly, and to do it with the staff and management that the rural hospitals actually have.
So when did you develop your unique program, and tell us what inspired you to do this?
Well, we launched Margin Solutions about 15 years ago. This was after I had been a senior partner at a Big Four firm and a chief medical officer at a 50 hospital system. And we became increasingly aware, particularly again for small and mid-sized hospitals, that they were in great need of significant dollar improvement, and that those dollar improvements had to occur very quickly. So what we developed was a patented and proven in practice set of solutions that produce infrastructure-wide margin improvement. That is, every area of the hospital can be improved financially and operationally. And we've served over the years, over our 15 years, over 250 hospitals in 33 states, and have produced hundreds of millions of dollars in new savings and revenues for these hospitals. And again, not to beat a dead horse here, but the COVID situation has clearly made things much worse, both in terms of the significant acceleration of increasing in expenses and decline in revenue, excuse me, and inadequate staff to really carry out the kind of solutions that are necessary to produce quick results.
Well, I know you've worked with many hospitals, and what unique challenges are you seeing due to COVID, and how did that lead you to developing Margin Solutions Express? And tell us a little bit about how that differs from your pre-COVID arrangement.
Yes, as I said, the degree of increase in expenses and decline in revenue has always been a problem for small and rural hospitals, but those problems are far worse today, far worse than they've been probably since the Great Depression, not just the Great Recession, but going back as far as the Great Depression. And what's particularly unique nowadays and often overlooked is the difficulty in finding both adequate numbers of staff and management and adequate numbers of experienced staff to deal with in these situations. Some cases, they're actually tragic, with hospitals closing, and particularly there are are more hospitals closing that are small and rural. And thus this makes this whole situation in effect an emergency, a crisis, an acute crisis that has to be dealt with in the here and now. And that's what's unique about Margin Solutions Express, is that it offers a whole range of solutions to produce solutions and to produce new dollars, new savings, new revenue, new cash flow, better operating margin, and to do it ASAP. We have the staff, we have the solutions, we have the experience, we can get it done quickly and do it on a zero risk basis for your hospital.
Are there any tips that you have for our viewers today? I mean, obviously scheduling a consultation and hiring you is going to have the greatest impact on their cash flow and margins. But if someone isn't quite ready to commit or wants to know a little bit more about your methodology or approach, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them that over the years, over the 15 years, plus all of my hospital experience prior to that, we've developed a whole set of proven in practice solutions applied through a patented process that can literally guarantee significant increases in savings and revenue, significant increases in cash flow, days cash on hand, and operating margin. We know these solutions work. We've already done them, implemented them at dozens and in some cases hundreds of different hospitals, and so have other hospitals also implemented them. The simple point here is that none of these solutions are original. We've taken these solutions from other hospitals. We've even coined this tagline, stolen shamelessly, proven effective, so that you don't have to do the research. We've already done it. The wheel has already been invented. We can apply it. We can get you the dollar results that you need now, not 5 years from now, but now.
Well, Dr. Kunnes, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And you know, folks, Dr. Kunnes has been doing this for over 30 years, as he said, and has worked with over 250 hospitals. And it's just incredible the impact that Margin Solutions has had in creating, you know, these large financial enhancements for, you know, at these hospitals. Now, these facilities were hemorrhaging so much money that they lost track of the loss, yet Margin Solutions was able to save them enormous amounts of money quickly and easily. Now, Margin Solution really becomes your partner because of the way they only bill for out of the savings and net revenues that you actually receive. So this is exciting and a relief. And if I were you, I'd be scheduling a consultation with Margin Solutions today. Now, right now you can go to unixa.com/margin-solutions to schedule a short consultation and start achieving savings and net revenue for your facilities. Now, Dr. Kunnes, I think we're ready to move into some of the most frequently asked questions you get. I know we've talked about it a little bit, and I'd like to ask you a few of those top ones because I believe our audience would probably have some of the same questions. So in those three questions, the first one that I know you normally hear is, how can you do, or how can the hospital do all of those solutions? They don't have the time nor staff nor the background to quickly do all of that work. What would you say to that question?
Yeah, absolutely. That's an extremely commonly occurring question. And the simple answer is that when we originally started Margin Solutions, we developed over time over 1,000 solutions. And of course, when a hospital executive would see over 1,000 solutions, they would become apoplectic and say, how, as you're saying, how in the world would we ever do something like that? And the simple answer is that for our Express program, we've reduced our 1,050 solutions down to 30 solutions. These are highly selected, highly valuable, high dollar producing solutions, so that you're talking as a hospital executive about a maximum of 30 solutions. And then from those 30 solutions, we further tone that down so that you're actually not implementing more than 1 or 2 solutions per month over the term of an engagement. So we're talking about relatively few solutions, and we're talking it over an adequate period of time. And perhaps even more importantly, these solutions are designed where we can maximize our staff resources to implement these solutions. You as a hospital executive and as a hospital team of executives, management, and staff do need to do very little work. This is probably the easiest dollars you've ever made for the hospital.
Mm. That's a good point. Now, and I know this second question, I've been in presentations with you and have heard this one from the audience as well, where someone will say, but we're different from a lot of hospitals. How do we know your solutions will work? And more importantly, how do you know that they'll work here?
Yeah, great question. Well, the relatively simple answer, and I don't mean simple-minded, but simple answer is that one, we've used and done all of these solutions all over the country with many, many different kinds of hospitals. Further, I'd make the argument, at least based on my experiences, that the similarities between and among hospitals are far greater than the differences. And then thirdly, the solutions we use and apply and ask you to consider are adjusted, modified, customized to fit your particular hospital, so that your particular hospital with your unique culture, administration, history, rules, regulations, policies, and so on, can best adapt and adopt those solutions that we offer you. And you, the hospital, have a choice of deciding which solutions you actually want to implement. We work with hospitals and expect from the get-go a 50% rejection rate of our solutions. So that allows you and gives you significant opportunities to adjust, modify, and customize the solution for you.
Yeah, you're right. And the last question that I've heard you respond to and that you frequently get, and it's such an important feature in your Express program, is how can you offer a contractually guaranteed ROI, and then how can you make sure that you achieve it?
Yeah, thanks. Actually, this third question is directly tied to the first question, because the way in which we can offer a contractually guaranteed ROI is because we're using customized, proven in practice solutions. Again, we know these solutions work. They've already been done at dozens and in some cases hundreds of hospitals. We've been able to calculate the savings and revenue that they produce and that they will produce in advance, even before we go to your hospital. So we've seen them work. We routinely, in fact, beyond routinely, 100% of the time when we go to a hospital, we offer a contractually guaranteed ROI. And that guaranteed ROI is eminently achievable because you, the hospital, and we, your consultants, are using proven in practice solutions. And we provide references for all of our solutions also. So it gives you a level of comfort that you can implement them and expect certain results that will be pleasing to you.
Thank you. Yes. And as you've said before, especially in this COVID environment, that many hospitals and perhaps many of you in our audience are losing money in ways you don't even know. But the solution to the problem doesn't have to be complicated or require extra energy from you or your staff. It's as simple as scheduling a consultation with Dr. Kunnes today to find out where your opportunities for savings and making money are. Thank you again for your time today, Dr. Kunnes. It's been a real pleasure. And thanks again to everyone watching. Once more, go to unixa.com/margin-solutions to continue the conversation about improving your cash and margins using the no-risk Margin Solutions Express. Thanks again.
Thanks a lot, Ed. Appreciate it.